get another look here.
And there we see no, didn't seem to be any contact with anybody. Joe going in the corner and loops her around. Kevin Harvick, the 75, was able to get by, and Joe kept her off the wall. Good job, Joe. That's his own truck, he was telling me. This is a tough row to hoe, but might have been some contact between he and Harvick in the 75.
Kevin might have started. Might have got him a little loose there. Joe Gay to the line and Robinson drywall forward.
Let's see if we can see what happens. Lonnie goes in the corner and just around it goes, and bam, watch this thing back in the fence. Wow, violent hit.
Hurts to watch.
One more angle, and we can see once again, it's not going to be any easier. No.
So if you're running around in second spot, you don't want to see this sort of thing transpiring in front of you. Hands at the tail end of the field.
Right at the very back. Yeah, he just gets bumped. Was that?
And it looked, Harvick got into the back of him, but it looked like something may have happened in front of him there as Hensley was all the way at the tail end of that restart.
Replay and so we can see what happened. There's Andy as he goes in the corner. He's trying to avoid running in the back of the other truck, and as he does that, he has to hit the brakes too hard, and bam, in the wall.
He was 22nd at the time, and that's decent for a guy who doesn't have a lot of time in the trucks. That's a good team. Yeah, there he goes.
I guess that looked like maybe Tony Raines was the truck he was trying to avoid hitting as he...
This kind of competition.
Let's see as he go in the corner. And there's a little bump from Jack Sprague that gets Chuck sideways. When he tries to save it, he goes up. He's going to just slam the wall with the rear, then the front's going to go into it.
He wrecked for a long time there, didn't he? Thought it. Well, here's another look at it.
These both, like pirouettes, just spin, and Mike, boom, catches the wall with the right rear. The front comes around, and Ruttman goes down to the inside.
Now, somewhere through the field will come Bliss to take the lead. Here's how it started.
Going into turn 3, and we see Ruttman just gets loose. Goes up, they make contact, they both spin, and Ruttman goes down. Does he hit the inside wall? Doesn't look like it.
Looks like he comes back around and keeps it out of the concrete. If you're looking from the grandstand, here's how it looked. The contact that helps decide the race. Look at the thumbs up. Everybody has a different opinion.
Sereni's, let's see if we can pick out what happened there.
It looks like the truck just took off. He had the wheels definitely turned to the left. A good sign that maybe something broke. Either he got a flat tire or something broke on it. But he went into the corner. The truck darted to the right, and his wheels definitely were still turned to the left.
There again, he rode the wall. Looked for a while as though he might be able to come on around towards the pit lane, but he couldn't. And caution is on.
Yeah, he's underneath Bickle. Actually, he was going for the spot, which he was running for fourth. And you can see the truck just gets loose on him. He's trying to keep it off the fence. No luck. He's going to clip the wall. Now, here's where really something could happen bad. I think everybody misses him.
Awfully close. Everybody got by. Watch it again. Truck breaks loose as he and Bickle are battling for fourth and fifth. Man, Keselowski had him in the crosshairs there and missed him.
Yeah, the truck just broke loose on him.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been air, but hard to say. And he hit the wall pretty hard. Oh, good job by Keselowski.
Great job by him and many others. We are seeing he and Resendiz.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they touched. They touched after Joe. It looked like Joe got sideways just a little and then touched Resendiz. I don't think it could have been just the air taking the air off the back of the truck.
Let's see from
Maybe
this
it's a
angle.
better angle here. Yeah, you can see. Joe wiggled first and then got into Resendiz. Luckily, nobody really wrecked here.
And Joe Ruttman has made his weapons here. Don't know how much help he got from the rear. It was tough to tell. That would be Stacy Compton, I guess. The 86, it looked like, who went by there. But it was difficult to get a good eyeball on it. Boris Said was in the area also.
At least one good thing, he is okay because we saw him get out of the truck and walk to the ambulance.
And here comes Stacy Compton right by to his inside.
RC Cola truck on the inside.
Watch this.
The wreck that's going to happen is going to happen here. That's turn one. You see he's cut a tire. He's headed up to the wall right there. Hits hard. That's going to break an oil cooler line or something, which is going to ignite this fire here.
So he comes off 4 and basically goes all the way down the straight.
Ooh, big hit. Rick Crawford got into the back of Barfield there, getting into turn 3 in Busch race today, and Phil Parsons finished second.
Phil Parsons finished second? Wow, right. Right. That's a great run for Phil Parsons. And let's take another look here. Now getting straight as he went through on the outside of McRae in the red and white number 42.
They right under Salter there in the 3 truck as they start around. They start off turn 4. You see Hornaday on the very bottom of the racetrack. He hits the inside, bounces out into Salter. Both trucks go round right in front of a lot of traffic.
No caution out. Hornaday keeps right on trucking, as does Sauter. Take another look.
You can see he hit the inside, the grass on the inside of the racetrack, bounced out into Sauter, spins around. Trucks just behind him, Rick Corelli, Jack Sprague, all these trucks barely got by. You can see them coming there right on by.
Plot. And then this is what happened.
You can see the 35 of Barfield there, the yellow truck, getting into Crawford, turning him. Crawford goes around and hits the outside wall very hard.
And for Rains out here, now what happened there?
Looked like Lonnie Rush just got around a little bit in the center part of the corner, and the truck went up to the outside wall.
This is going down into turn 3. There you see Andy Houston getting sideways. There you see Chuck Bound coming in there, and Rick McRae getting in the back of them there. They slide off into that wet infield, and I'm afraid they might be there for a little bit. A lot of damage there on the left front of Andy Houston's truck.
Going to cost him a lap and then some. We'll take.
This is going down into turn 1 here. There you see Pat going in there. Dominic Dawson looks like he just come around on him there. Again, those tires are wore out. There you see he's already spun out there. Truck's going high, truck's going low. Everybody gets by him. It's going down into turn 3 right here. There you see they just got together at the end of the straightaway there and up into the outside retaining wall. A lot of damage to both of those trucks. Mike Bliss pulls away, but he did go a lap.
Going up into the corner.
You can't quite see.
We're riding with Jimmy Hensley watching.
Looked like Tony was just trying to get underneath Stacy and realized he was going to push up instead of actually running into Stacy. It almost looked like he turned the wheel just a little harder to the left and spun it. Good job of everyone missing him.
Here it is again inside of Compton.
Oh yeah, truck just got loose getting into the corner, and then he just touches Stacy. Doesn't spin him, but just kind of gives him a little nudge. And a good job of everything. This Boris said going around.
To go, Bill.
Yeah, you can't tell if anyone got in it, but Wayne Gore was just, Wayne.
For Bill. There you see the spin already taking place.
You couldn't quite see what had happened, but what it looked like was just a racing incident. Both guys going for the same piece of real estate on the racetrack, and you still can't see it from that angle either. But
sure looked like there was a touch.
Yeah.
We're riding with Boris said.
You can see the truck wiggled.
Boy, it looked like he must have gotten hit from behind.
Yeah, it almost looks like he got hit from behind because you saw the truck wiggle first, which is usually a sign.
There's the tail end. He is already up into the wall at that point, eh? Crunched it pretty good.
Well, at least he's okay.
Well, he had Biffle behind him. Oh, man.
again, it was almost like the same move that happened with Corelli. Was it Corelli and Refner?
Yeah.
That, you know, two guys racing for position, going for the same spot. You know it's not intentional. Biffle's just getting underneath him, and Harvick just felt like he was going to close the door on him and couldn't do anything about it.
This happens at lap number 169. 31. This is on the restart at lap 191, or 189 actually. There you see Refner was hit
the
by
wall.
Ruttman.
Yeah.
And Sauter and Walters. And there goes Butch Miller in the 68 spinning. That's Mike Garvey. Watch again. How about that? Everybody, well, hey, 9 laps to the finish. It's every drive.
What happened?
This is going in turn 1. We see him get in the corner. Just got in simply too hard, and he goes through the gravel. You know, the last time he got stuck in the gravel. This time maybe he said he wanted to go through there harder. Well, he went in there too hard.
I tell you what, that is a place that you do not want to go off. That is a very, very fast piece of road right there, and it got away from Harvick. Take a look from Keselowski's on.
Comes off the corner and just smokes that left front tire, gets in the corner a little bit too hard, and oh, now he blew up. That's what happened. He lost an engine going in that corner. And the oil gets under the tires, and away he goes. Right on the left-hand side of your screen, you see the smoke, and pretty soon it's going to really smoke.
But again, Walters, the 37, Bliss, the 2.
You see Bliss just riding along there. Scott breaks loose and takes them both to the outside. Now the other trucks get by for a while there, but back in the pack there.
There comes Shed right there.
Wow.
And there goes Biffle. They were well behind the action, but again, it was Scott Walters, that lead truck. Watch the first truck in line begin to lose the rear of the truck right there.
Mike Bliss had one choice to make. He made to go high, and it was the wrong choice there.
Now remember, folks, Mike Bliss had an onboard camera also riding with us, and we'll see right now, middle of the pack.
There he is. You can see Bonnie Rush gets right into the back of him, sends him to the infield, and then hard into the outside wall. Everybody else got by somehow.
Let's get another look again. Refner there on the outside. Well, no, actually
he hit the wall and then got touched.
Yeah,
Bonnie Rush.
He hit the wall himself. And Tony Stewart, I guess that brings us to a question now with this redesigned racetrack. How do you know when you're out there in your very first race what you can do and what you can't get away with? Is it just seat of the pants that you guys have that I don't?
Yeah, it really is. And from that angle right there, it showed that he tried to go to the outside of another truck and
doing it goes outside of Crawford.
Right there, the back starts to lose. He caught it just for a second and snapped right around into the outside wall. A lot of damage to that truck, and fast trucks going right by him on the bottom.
You see Sauter right there put himself into a spin to avoid hitting Jimmy. Now you guys, Tony Stewart, the IRL cars, I think helped to some degree because you guys seem to be helping put down another half or groove or so for the trucks. It got away from Jimmy there, but I think blue truck.
Oh, just to the outside there. Gets out in the outside wall. Spins around in the grass. Very lucky to hold that truck low like that, not to shoot back across the racetrack.
Take another look again. Again, things got a little tight there, and here he's already off the wall and through the grass. And he spins, but out of harm's way, and that is the truck. Right there, the white and black machine. Barry Bodine.
Yeah, a little assistance there.
Watch the leader spray.
Running up on lap traffic there. Starts to turn. Biffle, I think, got in just to the back. Look at the truck get off the ground there. Watch it jump again in just a second right here. I tell you what, that was as close to turning over as you'll ever see a truck go.
that looks like Mickey Thompson off-road series.
Right here. It's flying right there.
Now the flap does come up. I didn't see that the first time.
Oh, wow. You could see the sparks where it bottomed out across that little racetrack there that they have on the front stretch here.
Wow. That's Walker Effins off-road kind of stuff. You're right, high desert racing. And watch this here. Back through and others. Here's what happened. Anderson, the 84. Biffle, the 50. Houston got by.
Good job. Big crash behind you. Caution will be out.
10-4, boys. We're going to win this race.
There's nowhere to go. You were listening to Andy Houston's radio.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Big crash behind you. Caution will be out.
10-4, boys. We're going to win this race.
Toby Porter okay, climbed from his truck, and
Crawford truck is still in the pits. He did not make the start.
And he comes off the corner all by himself and just around it goes. And there we see the contact with the inside retaining wall as he now brings his car to the, there we see from the speed shot as he slides down to the inside retaining wall.
It's going to be on the tail of the field. Here's how it happened.
Oh, Houston just came off the corner. Houston came off the corner, lost control. We'll watch this.
There you'll see it.
We'll see it from Biffles. We go into off turn 4. Now we see Houston lose control. Oh, he got the truck loose and had to back off the gas, and that's when Biffle just ran up on the back of him.
Biffle got into the back of Houston after Houston backed. Begin with young Jamie Skinner.
Around he goes. We see Stacy Compton go on the outside, Ron Barfield on the inside. Ryan Rucker gets by, so does Tony Raines. All the other trucks split the 5 truck.
No caution at that point. So we jump on board with Barfield. Around goes Houston.
Skinner.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
This is Tony Raines as he sees the same spin. He says, which way to go? Okay, I'll go on the inside. And there we see Scott Walters, the 37 Red Man truck. Around he goes. No other contact with other trucks.
Woo! Around and around and around she goes.
And he almost missed that inside pit wall. He almost missed it, but unfortunately, he didn't miss it. He made some pretty heavy contact with the right front. Boris Sid sees this and goes, not much to see as Anderson is there on the inside.
Smart. Here's the incident for Bouchard.
There we see the contact between Joe Buford and himself, and around he goes, and all the other trucks luckily able to avoid Bouchard as he was spinning.
Scraped around the way.
Oh, we got another crash. Lance Norrick is spun up in turn 3, but
he's had a pretty tough weekend here.
Well, he started spinning up in the corner, and he finishes spinning as he gets down to the straightaway.
Which, by the way, is banked 16 degrees, if you wonder about the way that... Here's how it all happened.
The first truck that spins is the 91 of Carl Long. We see Joe Buford in the 70 there, and Lance Norrick just plowed in the back of Boris Said in the 44, and we see Butch Miller in the Dana Dodge down on the inside with heavy damage to the nose of his truck. Listen to Boris Said as he goes in turn 3. Listen to this. Hit in the back. Let's see if we can see what happens to Brad Teague. Well, there was other trucks around. Exactly what happened, I don't know, as Kenny Bouchard goes down and misses him. You will see the leader, Ron Hornaday, comes by. Yeah, it's not a good-looking scene when you look up and see someone right in front of you.
Better not hit that guy. Might mess up my plan. From Resendiz in-car. In truck.
Yeah, hard to say. Appeared to be by himself, but these.
And we take a ride with him here and see what we can figure out what's going on. Ah, little contact with Rush. That'll do it.
And he goes down and gets the inside wall. I mean, he was trying his best not to spin out Lonnie Rush.
Look from the view we had out of Compton's truck that Ruttman might have just... Garvey and Crawford were together. Crawford spun. Garvey goes down on the flat there.
Boy, Anderson just got by in that red truck as they spin by each other. No contact between either one of them. With at that 44 there, Jay Sauter right behind him. He's already broke loose a little bit. Sauter did not start that spin. Boris did that on his own.
Now let's see what Boris saw. Looking back to Sauter.
He's very close right there, but the back starts to sail out right there.
I think he did that last week at Watkins Glen also in the Busch race.
He is up in the high stuff.
Yeah, it looks like his wheels just got up into loose dust and gravel there, and he had no traction, and right into the wall he went.
There's McGlynn on the inside.
And he hits him, and that just shoots him right up into the wall, and then McGlynn spun to the inside of the racetrack and hit the wall pretty good. You're right. I don't think with the damage that was done to the rim and the wheel, it had to do some other damage in there. There it is again. Just a little bit of a tap as it came off the turn. And McGlynn tries to get it squared away. You can see the 51 truck go by there. Tammy Jo Kirk, she was able to avoid it.
Another look at it from our remote camera on the backstretch wall. And I'm going to have a hard time pointing the finger at McGlynn because looking from the in-car view, he's pointing to the right side. He's pointing for Dobson to go by him on the outside.
Figure out what happened here. Look at the top of the screen. Here he is in the light blue truck right there. He just goes into the corner, and it looks like that right front tire went down on him. Boy, he hit that wall almost head on. Here it is again. See, he goes into the corner, and all of a sudden it just takes off to the right. He has no steering or traction. He perhaps has steering and trying to cut it, but I believe the right front tire
said on the outside, way on the outside,
and right into the wall he goes. Spins sideways, and look at this scramble as trucks try to get by him. He's right in the center of the groove, but everybody gets by.
It's hard to believe. Along with Mike Bliss.
That on the inside like it's supposed to be, and all of a sudden it just takes off to the right, and it does act as if the tire was going down the right front. That's the way it looked as he went in there. And then he just scraped the wall pretty hard on around turn 4 and 5.
At the tail end of what happened here, Benny. He's gone by there.
Yeah, he's spun down in the corner. The left rear tire is flat, but of course that possibly could have happened when he hit the wall with the left side. But the left rear was flat when he tried to drive the car off the wall. The inside, and I thought that the world was going sideways there for a second when we were on board, and we see Bliss, just like the 3 truck, gets sideways. He goes up, the tail hits the 24, gets in sideways, and they spin, and look at all these trucks go by. Look at that.
Man.
I mean, the 24 truck went between the 6 and the 44 and didn't hit either one of them.
Neither one of them touched a thing. They're going to have some mud up under the fenders, and that's it. Other than the contact, and I'm not sure they touched, Benny. I'm not sure they ever touched each other.
Yeah, right here, the back of the 2 truck is going to hit the 24 truck.
That's what's going to get 24 loose.
Right there. That's what's going to get the 24 loose. And then they touch again. Sprague, the Bliss truck gets the right front a little bit. They probably have to reset the toe in. But look at all those trucks go by and not make contact.
Man. I'd love to credit that to the spectacular piece of driving that we hear about so often in these kind of instances, but sometimes your best friend in those circumstances is lady luck.
Yes, I agree with that.
The question that will remain unanswered, or at least be subject to opinion, is whether or not Sprague crowded Bliss.
Turn 4.
Turn 4 at the top of the screen up there. Rob Morgan goes around. He may have had a little contact with the truck just in front of him as they hit.
Top of the screen.
Yeah, you can see they were side by side, and Fellows and Tammy Jo do get together. Let's see where Glanville's coming into the picture as Fellows comes down off the racetrack to the high side of the track, and here comes Glanville. Wham!
There's a contact between the 2.
You can see Tammy Jo there trying to get the truck back under control, still sliding. There's Ron Fellows in the 48, backing back across the race course. There goes Glanville on the outside to avoid Fellows.
And here's where finally Tammy Jo loses control and spins.
And so Glanville went, he got by Fellows, and boy, did he hit her hard.
It looked as if Glanville was trying to avoid Kirk on the outside, but as she kept sliding up, Wayne Anderson got together. That's all there was. Up there in turn 2, we're getting set for a restart.
Didn't look like they were. Well, we see him up into the wall, and then it goes around on him right in front of some traffic. The traffic went on by. Here's some more going by.
Morris said Rob Morgan get past.
Right there, it choked down on him. He couldn't restart. Hit hard, though, on the outside, pancaking the whole right side of that 20 truck.
Second career start in the Truck Series. Loss of momentum. Here they come.
And Sauter down on the inside, got together, as you said, with Refner in the 66 truck. And Refner was the one that came out on the short end. Well, really, both of them came out on the short end, but Refner got the worst end of the bargain.
And Refner had done nothing wrong.
No, not really.
It was when Raines lost momentum. There's Raines on the outside. That allowed Sauter room underneath and Refner. But 3 cars into turn 3 wouldn't go.
Joe Ruttman just sneaked by on the inside in the 99 truck.
And Refner was trying to
back straight away.
Lost it, slid down in front of some other trucks, and slid right there to the grass. And
with the 84 of Anderson, let's see how he got loose.
It's something similar to what Mike Bliss was doing, under someone, trying to keep off that guy, trying to accelerate at the same time, and the truck goes around.
Meanwhile, in the battle up front, Mike Bliss loops the deuce and backs it into the wall. Started to mention before. Here's how it all started.
Contact between Bainbridge and Scott Walters, and Bainbridge goes around. Scott Walters goes around. And look, was that Renfro that went right through the middle of that? And here comes Boris. Boom. He just touches the back, and Lance Norris.
Here's how it happened. Setzer alongside Raines as they went in the corner.
And Raines goes around. We can only assume that there was some contact between Setzer on the left rear. His right front touched the left rear of Raines. And Raines goes around. I don't think he's made any contact at all with the wall. Here we see the 66 and the 6, Corelli and Brian Refner side by side. And Corelli goes in the corner and just spins around. Is this coming off too? Yes, it is. That must have been a different wreck than the one.
Pick a wreck. There's a wreck.
Yeah, pick a wreck. There's a wreck everywhere, because that's a completely different wreck than I thought brought the caution flag out. But
that's middle of backstretch there.
Yes,
the other one was down in 3 and 4 where Biffle and
the tire is flat. As we see,
tail end of it.
We see some damage to the 14 truck. There we see Tolsman on the inside, and there we see the contact between Randy Tolsman and Terry Cook, and bam, in the wall goes Cook. Look at all those trucks going by. How in the world someone didn't run over?
Here's how it happened. Here's what he's mad about. Here's what happened to Morris from Mike Bliss's onboard camera.
Going down in the corner, and boom.
Morris had a little help there, didn't he?
Just some contact, and around he goes.